Guys, Gabe Suarez here, Suarez Tactics. So today, real quick, before my training session, I want to discuss point shooting. Oh no, I don't want to call it that. I'm going to call it kinesthetic alignment shooting, okay? Kinesthetic alignment shooting. All right, kinesthetic refers to the hands, the muscles, the arms, the body, not the eyes, okay? Alignment is orienting something toward another object. You align your car with the off-ramp when you're getting off the freeway, that sort of thing, okay? Alignment and aiming are two different things. Sometimes you don't need to aim because you're already aligned, okay? Now, here is an example. This is a Glock pistol that I used in a video some years ago when I was talking about not needing any sort of sights in order to get hits on target, okay? That video is out there. I'll try and link it to this one. This seems a little bit easier way to teach you the concept than to go out there and shoot a target and everybody wonders how the fuck I did it. Okay, well, I'm going to explain to you, okay? There is no way to aim this visually, right? Yeah, I know. I could use the top of the slide and the corners and all this other minutia that these propeller heads talk about online. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about pointing your finger at something, okay? Pointing your finger at something. You don't have sights on this. It is involved with your physical understanding of your body, your proprioception in the world, and your hand and eye coordination, okay? All right, that's what kinesthetic alignment is. All right, now listen carefully. And all of you guys with the raven tattoos on your ass, listen to me. Jeff Cooper said that the body aligns the pistol. The eye verifies that alignment. Now, I will add when necessary. So you don't need sights to hit a large or close target, especially if that target's easy, especially if you have a good solid grip because you spent time lifting weights instead of beer steins, okay? And you are able to maintain that alignment on target easily. Okay, so from the top, the pistol is aligned physically. It is oriented on target physically via the grip, the hand-eye coordination, all right, and the alignment of the pistol in your hand. All right, so for example, all right, if you have average size hands like I do, all right, the average size pistol fits on there perfectly. All right, now if I had little dainty childlike hands, I may need to downsize to a different pistol because that pistol is not going to sit well in my hand and I'm going to be fighting it all along trying to get it aligned physically, right? Okay, so physical alignment is sufficient for a large portion of shooting. If I need to shoot another man in the chest from, across the table, I don't need a sight picture. No, I don't. Okay, what do I need? I need physical alignment. Okay, if I need to shoot a dude in an elevator because he starts fighting with me, I don't need a sight picture. I need physical alignment. Okay, from the trunk of the car to the hood part of the car, okay, 5 yards away, physical alignment. I don't need anything else. Now, if I need to shoot him in the left eye instead of in the chest, I need more. So those times when I need greater refinement of that alignment, that's where the eyes come in and that's where the sights come in, okay? All right, so the sights visually verify and refine the alignment as necessary for more difficult targets, okay? Now, do I point shoot? Yeah. Do I use sights? Yeah. Hell, I've got optics on all my carry pistols, okay? Matter of fact, this is the one I'm carrying today, the SP01. This is the Ultimate CZ Gunfighter's pistol. This is what I'm carrying today. And you can see it's got sights on it. It's also got an optic on it. Why? Because I am not a minimalist. I'm a maximalist. I want to express my skills as a shootist to a great degree, much more than I could if I didn't have sights, okay? All right, now that doesn't mean that I'm going to stop and get perfect refinement and everything all dialed in when I need to shoot some dude in the chest from across the length of a car, okay, lickety split. No, I'm going to use the physical alignment that I need and as much or as little visual verification that I need. Okay. Now, there was a dude on Facebook. Yeah, I know. I hate Facebook too, but you know what? Until the conservatives come up with a comparative platform that isn't fixated on theology and belly aching about shit, maybe I'll go to it, okay? But until then, I'm stuck on Facebook, just like the rest of you guys, okay? Anyway, he was talking about, I don't like red dot sights because I've been shooting iron sights for 40 years. Well, great. You know what? I'll bet you have a smartphone instead of one of those phones with the curly lines on it. Why? Because there's progress. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to be open-minded about it, not pedantic one way or the other. There are Elmer Fuds that say you don't need any sights and you certainly don't need one of these on it because all your gunfights are going to be inside of 5 yards and blah 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 blah. Okay, great. You know what? You're wrong. Okay, and then there's the other dudes. All right, the hipsters that say, oh, you know, there's a lawyer attached to every bullet, and so you have to get a perfect sight picture and you have to get a perfect dot and everything else for every single shot because, you know, blah, blah, blah. You're also wrong, okay? The world is not black and white, neither is gunfighting. It's a gray area, okay? But if you go out into the world like this, you're only going to be effective in a very, very small part of that area, okay? In 2024, our gunfights are not 5 feet away. They can be. They can also be 50 feet away. They can be 50 yards away. When I started teaching long-range shooting, everybody thought, oh, that Gabe guy is insane. Well, I am, but I'm also right about that. Now, we've had several armed personnel interdict active shooters at long distances, okay? One, I think, was 40 yards. One that was a little bit farther. So how about now? Yeah, okay? So just because you have this and this doesn't mean you have to use all of those platforms. But if you need this and you have this, okay, you're going to wish that you had chosen differently. Now, there was a guy on Facebook, like I said, that was saying, oh, you know, those red dots don't work for me. I've trained myself to watch the sights and everything else. Look, numbskull, okay, if you train yourself forever to pick up the iron sights, okay, right? And you don't have to, okay, where are my sights? Hold on a second. Let me do this and do that, okay? Because you've trained thousands and thousands of repetitions. I'm about to put in about a session of 500 reps on my draw and my sight picture and my trigger press, okay? Now, when I come up, I pick up, if I'm working iron sights, I pick up those iron sights right away. I don't have to hunt for them. Why? Because I put in the time, okay? And my hand knows exactly where it's going to go, and my eye knows exactly where it's going to go. You don't take a magic pill and all of a sudden you're a gunfighter. You got to put in the time. Okay? So, now, if your pistol is set up correctly, okay, how many times do I have to, tell you guys about co-witness? It has to be there, okay? If your pistol is set up correctly, okay, the dot mounted as low as possible so that you have co-witness that, so the dot is zeroed at the same exact spot that the iron sights are zeroed. And then any time that you get a sight picture with your iron sights, what are you also going to see? You're also going to see that dot. And eventually what happens is you start ignoring the iron sights and picking up just the dot. That's how this works. This is how this has worked since 2009 when we first started doing it. Okay? So the guy that says the iron sights don't work for him, he has closed his mind to saying the iron sights, the dot doesn't work for him, okay? Because if the iron sights are working for him, he is also picking up the dot, okay? And there are methods to teach the eye how to pick this up. But if you're picking up the irons, you're also picking up the dot, okay? It's as simple as that. So anyway, guys, this is it right here. So this answers the question of point shooting. Do we still do it in 2024? Fuck yeah, we still do it in 2024 because sometimes we have the same kind of problems that the guys in the old days had where they were shooting at big targets up close and, speed was of the essence and so on. And, they didn't need any more refinement. So why obtain more refinement when it's not necessary? On the other hand, back in those days, and especially now today, we have situations where we have partial targets, meaning just a partial adversary showing himself beyond cover or exposing himself to your shot, in a very fleeting format. Okay, and so you have a need for a degree of accuracy that exceeds that which what you can get just through physical alignment. So you have visual verification via the dot and refinement of that alignment as necessary to get the hits. Guys, this is really, really simple, okay? Unless you have congenital eye issues that prevent you from seeing the world like the rest of us do, this will work for you. You just have to put in the time, okay? Going to the range and taking 5 shots with this and going, I don't like it. That's not going to do it, okay? You got to put in the time. You got to practice. And, you look at every police holster, now, and every special operations holster and everything else. What do they have on their pistols? Okay? Like I predicted that they would years ago. Why? Because it's an advantage that cannot be denied. Okay? Can you still point shoot with an optic sighted pistol? Absolutely. Okay? But you cannot get the sort of accuracy that you can from this with this. That, my friends, is a fact. Okay, now, how to make this, quick, intense, big intel dump. I got to get training. It's going to be a busy day for me. I welcome your comments.